Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt over at MilestoneCapitalGrowthPortfolio.com. Today's Wednesday, June 8th. Okay, I want to take a look at a few things. First, members, we went over the SAM day before yesterday and watching for this breakout here, and that really panned out well. Beautiful move to the upside. We're just looking for this gap close now. So if you're not a member, make sure you join up. The link will be on this video on YouTube. If not, just go to MilestoneCapitalGrowthPortfolio.com and choose your membership. It's right there. Okay, so let's take a look at NASDAQ first, please. Market's been ripping, rocking and rolling and ripping. Okay, we do have a gap at 506.399. I do think that's what we're waiting for. Volume is really, really low and just chugging to the upside. I think it's actually a little bit lower. 511, somewhere in that 5,011, somewhere in that area. But just definitely keep an eye on that because it's really important once we close this gap. If there's a little one right above it, that we might be getting toppy again. But everything's been really slow and not a very big moves to the upside. I think everybody's waiting for the Fed, and by the time the Fed gets there, we'll be right there to go down or make new highs. We'll have to see what happens, but relative strength indexes are telling you that you have room for both sides. So who knows? Trend line on Nasdaq is a little bit higher also, so we could make new highs on that one too. So you have the gap and the trend line sitting right there. You can see everything is just angled up on the weekly, but your slow stow only stays up here for a certain amount of time and then it breaks. So, or at least it resets, and if it does reset, you have to watch on the weekly too. The important move here that this is actually a support for this. If this does break, then we should have a next support middle Bollinger Band and then lower moves. So keep an eye on that. We'll keep it on the weekly and look at SPY real quick. Then we're going to look at some shoe retailers. You can see SPY broke the weekly and just moving higher. I have no idea where it's going to go. Probably going to test some of this area right here where the 213 was. We had that spike right there, 213.74. See if that makes a double top at that area there. But it's definitely moved up pretty nicely. Consolidation has been pretty crazy. If you're trading options in this area here when it's really not moving, you're not doing very well. But if you just have calls for the upside, just riding these calls as long as your time frame's correct. But these 60-cent moves every day is a little silly. So starting to spread the Bollinger Bands a little bit. Top RSI is about 66 right now. That's the 14. Switching it back to the 10. We'll take a quick look. You can see we're just at 71 now, so we're getting up there again, and the roof could be coming in. We'll have to see how this top holds. All right, let's take a look at Nike real quick. All right, Nike has a nice bottom in place right now, and something you want to watch is for a trend line to break on this to see if it's going to get going and get some of those gaps up higher. I would actually probably work it off of this candle here and this candle here to see if this is going to be the break. EMA 8 will be first, and then the trend line, then this one here. If not, it's going to be going lower. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days of consolidation at this point on the daily, so we could break out a little bit higher. You can see the weekly is pretty much flat line, sitting at support right here. So we could get a reversal and start heading to the upside, but definitely keep an eye on that. Remember, they just did this split also, so it's just coming back and taking a little bit of a break. Somebody's collecting all the shares that they can. Okay, we're going to swing over to Deckers. All right, Deck has done really well moving on the daily. Okay, it's up from about 40, 48 or so. Moving it to the weekly real quick here, just to check it out. Broke the middle Bollinger Band. If this week closes over the EMA and middle Bollinger Band, I do expect this 50 to get tested, and then maybe a little bit higher here on this. But it's had a great move to the upside after a little bit of a reset. But watch how it closes this week. That's going to be very important. And we're going to shoot right into WWW. Same thing, leaving it on the weekly. You can see 3 weeks, big move to the upside. Looks really good here. If it breaks this consolidation box, I think it's going to go a lot higher. If not, I think we're going to get the dip back down again. So definitely something to keep your eye on, all these wicks and stuff like that for WWW. So the trend line has been broken. The consolidation has taken place. So typically when you get something like this, you could see how you broke right here. and then you have a dip on it, and it came down and actually used this as a support line. So now it's just been consolidation. It hasn't been consolidating lower, it's been consolidating higher. So keep an eye on this box break to move higher. For this one, could get back up into this resistance area where all these other trades were taking place in the 20s, mid 20s, somewhere in that area. That's if it gets continuation and follow through. You do have 3 weekly candles that are to the upside, so I would expect some kind of retrace. Usually after 3 candles, you get 2 or 3 down. And we'll have to see what happens with that. So keep an eye on Wolverine. Sam, I also remember that one looks like it's going to go get that gap at 72. Beautiful move on that one already. All right, if you're not a member, make sure you join up. Have yourself a fantastic night.